Time for another weekly market analysis. This is for week number 28 of the year. That's July 10th through the 14th. We have a full week of trading ahead, so let's dig in. First off, we see that the QQQ, that's the NASDAQ 100 ETF, is up 36.6% for the year. Nice job, NASDAQ. SPY up just shy of 15%. And the laggard so far this year, the IWM, not even quite up 5%. And the diamonds, yuck, only up 1.3%. Come on, Dow, get going. Let's start off with our analysis on the S&P 500 ETF. That's the SPY. Here we go. Monthly chart. So we have price that has gone into, very aggressively gone into, with a big bullish monthly candle last month into that bearish area. However, so far this month, narrow range candle. There's a bit of a pause, a stall out in momentum. That's a clue. So that strong bullish momentum that has been rallying up has started to stall out. That momentum is slowed down. We see that NRC, that narrow range candle, indicating a pause in that momentum. Typically, reversals follow when you have those two ingredients. So ingredient number one, narrow range candle after a strong rally in price. And ingredient number two is the bearish area. That's your supply or resistance area over there on the left. So again, typically what happens is you see a reversal. So that's why I put that downward arrow. That is the most likely outcome. And what is also possible is, yes, price can still go higher. It is an election year, historically speaking. If you're into seasonality or anything like that, these election years tend to be quite a bit more bullish than non-election years. So that is playing a part of this. However, interesting timing on this with the narrow range candle and being in that bearish area there. I certainly would expect at minimum a bit of a pullback here coming up real soon. On the weekly chart, we can see that also prices in a bearish area, two of them in fact. Now, what's interesting here is you can see, yes, the bulls are still in control. You got the rally and all that kind of stuff, but it has had a light sell-off in resistance. So again, that's to be expected, of course. The uptrend's still intact though, but it is starting to stall. We see evidence of that on the weekly and monthly chart. So that rally has slowed down. The bears are fighting it out now. The bears have really showed up. They're starting to fight. They're starting to sell. The bullish traders are taking profit as well. And so we see a bit of a stall out here. So again, bulls still in control, but I certainly would expect to see a reversal pretty soon here. On the daily chart, we can see that price came right down just shy of that bullish area that I drew last week. In fact, it just missed it by a few pennies and had a reaction to the upside. Not really much, just kind of went up a little and right back down again. So nothing really much one way or the other. I put on here, this really could go either way. I put 50-50, and this is just one of those times where price is bullish on the daily and weekly, but bearish from the location. So another way of saying that is the momentum or the direction, the trend is bullish, but the location is bearish, meaning it's in the weekly and monthly supply areas. So when price comes down into this little bullish area, about the 435 area, like it did, had a little bit of a bounce from there, a very small rally. Really, the question that I want to ask is this going to get any follow through? Meaning, is the rally going to continue and make a higher high? If so, great. Then, tighten up your stops and, keep making money on those trades that you're already in. If not, and price goes below that bullish area, in fact, if it goes below we'll call about 430, 431-ish, that swing low right there, then that's going to signal a reversal in trend. Now the bears are going to be taking over in control, which would not be a surprise, being that we're inside that weekly and monthly resistance area, that bearish area. So be aware of that. For me, what I'm looking for are those key indicators. Does it make a higher high, or does it make a lower low, taking out that swing low about 431-ish or so? Okay, so keep your eye on that. We are starting a live trading room very soon, so you can sign up for if you're interested in the description link below. On to the NASDAQ 100 ETF QQQ. On the monthly chart, pretty much a similar story here from the S&P 500. You can see this one's actually had a much stronger rally. in fact. So nice move right up into those bearish territories there. But again, it has that small narrow range candle, at least so far this month. Month isn't over yet. And so again, that's signaling that pause in momentum. Again, typically what happens here when you have that narrow range candle after a strong rallying price and it's located in a bearish area like we are, usually more times than not, price reverses and comes back down. So that's what I put the probable outcome there, is that price drops back down to about that 310, 320 area. And then we should see a decent bounce from there. And then the other outcomes are it goes a little bit higher and then down. The more unlikely scenario, though, is that price just continues going higher and higher and higher. Okay, yeah, of course it's possible. We always have to say that. We deal in possibilities, probabilities, so sure, it's possible. Just not quite so likely, though. Okay, so my money's on the reversal, either, coming very, very soon, like this week soon, or next week, or if price does head up a little bit higher around that 380, 390, then I would expect to see the reversal there. So I am watching closely those daily charts because that's going to tell us when the reversal is actually happening. Okay, so that's really my key indication here, not the monthly, but the daily chart. On the weekly chart, we can see that the bulls have been losing momentum. The rally is stalling. So again, kind of a point to the bears here, and no surprise because we are in a bearish territory as far as the location goes. So we're still looking for that short-term shorting opportunity, but again, hasn't triggered yet. I'm still waiting for it on the daily chart. Just haven't had the evidence of a reversal yet. So that's what I'm waiting for as my trigger before I get short on this. Speaking of the daily chart, here we go. You can see a little bit better. I drew this bullish mild area last week, about that 362-ish, 364-ish range. Price pulled back into there, had a small bounce from there, at least small so far anyway. We'll see what happens next week. And I really look at this as a fairly important point, because if price rallies higher, okay, great, then, the rally continues, the uptrend continues, fine, so be it, that's nice. But if price breaks below this bullish area and breaks below that swing low, then that is when you normally will see a reversal pattern. In fact, if you just kind of imagine that for a moment, let's just pretend with me here that price does go down, breaks below that swing low, well, then that pattern would be resulting in a double top pattern, okay, which is a very common reversal pattern. All right, and again, not to be unexpected because we're in that weekly and monthly bearish environment. So if that does play out and that does happen, get ready to sell short on that next pullback, that next retracement. And I'll be updating you along the way if that scenario does happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more weekly market updates. Don't forget the link in the description below if you're interested in the trade room coming up.